record now. Okay,
Okay.
I'm recording. So let me get the auto exposure. So there is. Let me stand up. There is. God, my headphones are getting stuck. Can everyone see the menu? So there's a setting called camera, and you just want to make sure that's connect. That says Hasselblad H1. By default, the camera should be already selected to that. If you haven't reset the back, which you shouldn't be resetting the back to factory settings. So it should be all set to go and ready to shoot once you get it. So that's just one thing to keep an eye out for, just in case your digital back's not working properly. So yes. So let me just make sure I'm not missing anything on this bad boy. No. I forgot to talk about ISO, because I always do. Let's like turn my screen towards my. Give it a minute. It takes a while to boot up too, so it's a very old camera. So under setup, this is where you would format your CF card right at the top of this menu. So let me go back to the home screen. So go under setup and then quick format, and then your CF card will be here. So you gotta, when you put a CF card, it likes some CF cards and it doesn't like some CF cards. So it depends on what kind of CF card you have. But it would show up here and you just format your card. Yes.
So you'll always have to format it, just like the phase one?
Yes, if you're using
Okay.
a CF card. But I
Okay.
highly recommend you tether this camera, because on the back of this screen, it is not the greatest looking screen on planet Earth. So if you were to zoom in to check focus, everything still looks pixelated. And if you move over like an inch, it takes about 10 seconds to load the image. So try to tether as much as possible with this camera. And I'm about to show you how difficult, not super difficult, but very not easy to tether with this camera. So let me go over that. Let's part this puppy off. Has anyone have any questions for me so far?
How much do these cost right now if you buy them used? Do you know what they're going?
Yeah, actually, I work at a film shop called Glass Key Photo. We had two H1s in the shop, and they go for $1,400 for a full kit. So that would include a film back, battery grip, the prism, and then the lens as well. So 1,400 is what you're usually looking at.
Which back comes with?
Not like a digital back, but a film back. And then
Okay.
usually
How much is
the
the digital?
Leafs,
Yeah.
the digitals usually come around, the Leaf Aptus backs, from what I've seen based on eBays and sales,
Okay.
they're looking around like $800.
Okay.
So it also depends on the version of the Aptus you get. There's two versions out there in the world. So there's the first
Which one's?
version.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, this is the first version, and then there's a second version that will say Aptus 2 on their logo,
Okay.
which is the newer version. And then I think they also have a newer version right now currently. So yeah. So
Cool.
the Leaf Aptus and the H1 is a really inexpensive system to get into. And also, if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can also get a Phase 1 P series back, which is not cheap at any sense, but they usually start around $2,000 to $4,000 for the older P series backs from Phase 1. So
Are
you
those
can
any
get into it
good?
more. Yeah, they're amazing. I mean,
Okay.
just this guy, I'm still impressed with this guy
Yeah.
versus a DSLR. So yeah.
Yeah. And how many megabyte? Well, how big are these files?
They're not huge. The one I have on the back right now is 17 megapixels.
Okay.
So you're not getting. I would say you're still getting a lot of good information, but not a lot compared to our phase ones we have at school today.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then this is the 80 mil that comes with it. Usually comes as a kit together if you buy a H1, and this 80 mil has been the exact same up to their newest version camera. I think it's like the H6D. So yeah, so it's a nice little camera. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
little, but a great way to get into medium format without spending $52,000.
Yeah. Right. Thank you
Yeah.
for explaining that.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so I'll go over tethering right now. So most of us have newer computers. We don't have old 2000 Macs anymore. So there's probably 5 requirements you'll need, which it comes with the kit we have at school. So you're going to need a firewire repeater. Is this a firewire repeater? All right. So firewire repeater is what you'll need. Then it's a tangle on my floor right now. And then you'll need, Jesus, a firewire 400 to 800 cable. So this is, I believe, this is the 800 and this is the 400. So yeah, so you'll need this cable. And then on top of that, you'll need an 400 cable. So this is a 400 cable. And all these cables will come in the H1 kit from our school, so you don't have to worry about buying yourself some of these. But just be mindful to be careful with the cables and properly wrap them, because it's hard for us to purchase these cables for something so old. So yeah. Oh God, one item. And then the third thing you'll need to complete this tethering masterpiece is a power supply. So a power supply with that kind of plug. So yes, and then other things, if you have a computer that has Thunderbolt, you'll need this cable, a Thunderbolt to Firewire 800. Apple does not sell these anymore. And then if you have the newer computers that only have Type-C, you'll need a Type-C to Thunderbolt cable. So you're daisy chaining a lot of cables here. So you'll need these two things. And then this is my personal own cable, but I'll be putting it in the H1. So if anyone does want to borrow the H1, I'll just have this in there for you guys to borrow. Okay. So this is the very important part when tethering the H1 and the Leaf Aptus, because everything is all new, but it's the camera and the back is still old. Where's the other cable? All right. So you want to first set up your repeater. So if you're looking at the repeater and you're reading the words correctly, it says Firewire Repeater 400. You want the black cable to go on the top first. And then you want the orange cable to go in the side right here. Just like that. And then you want to plug in your power. Oh, Jesus Christ. You want to plug your power into the power socket on the side here. So, yeah. So I'll show you my floor in a second and what my chaotic wire mess looks like right now. So that's that. It's important you follow the sequence too, because it will destroy the back, or it won't connect the back to the computer if you don't follow the specific sequence. Right. So then you also want to just plug in your power into any power outlet. Oh, God. Okay. It's safe for you guys to plug these things in together. So plug these in together. And also, that's just the daisy chain of craziness. I am on the newer MacBook Pro, so I don't have a Thunderbolt port anymore. I have the newer Type-C Thunderbolt port. Right. Oh, yeah. Then you want to get the Firewire 400 black cable, the one that's the right angle looking one, and put it in the very not smart position where the battery would go. Tether port. So unfortunately, Leaf did not think this properly, and they put the battery where the tether port is. So that's why you need the power and the repeater as well.
The repeater will power the back.
Yes. And then after you've plugged everything in, it'll flash on for a moment because it can't find the computer. You want to then, plug in your said dongle chain into your computer. Let's make sure it's working. Let me go to my capture. Let me share my screen after I finish. So when when this green light turns on, it will tell you you're all set to go for tethering, and also on the back it'll say tethering mode. So you're all set to start shooting. Let me share my screen on capture one, because there's some preferences you have to set. Where is my capture? Capture. Did you crash? Oh, nope. Stop sharing. Okay, here it is. Boom. So everyone can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So so sadly, this does not work with Capture 20. Capture 20 removed the systems for the leaf obtuse. So you'll have to go hunt down Capture 1, 10, 11, or 12, and download that program, and then you can use your what is it called? Your license code. Yes, thank you. Your license code, and input it into the previous Capture 1 program, and it will work. Your license key works for everything prior to Capture 20. So yes.
Okay, cool.
So under Capture 1, you want to go under Preferences. Then you want to make sure to have Phase 1 leaf obtuse, or this one right here, leaf obtuse, checked off. And then also you want to make sure this camera here is selected to Hasselblad H1. So
I'm not seeing that. I just see the image of the mask.
oh, then give me 2 seconds. All right, just start share desktop.